Hi everyone. It was only a matter of time before I got this and gave my take on it. This is the Lfrith Jew from the spin-off manga of Witch from Mercury. And when I saw this, I was very intrigued. Like I said, I like the more radical kind of non-conventional designs, and this was pretty cool because it's got sort of a funnel type weapon that flies around, but it's also a fist, which is very nice, a bit of a reminiscent to the older super robot type of genre. And I put one together and I'm actually quite happy with it. So this is the Lfrith Jew. Let me get some light in there. So here's the Lfrith Jew, and it's a fairly cool kit. Now it's based on the original Lfrith chassis, so it uses a lot of the same parts, but it does actually look completely different. Insofar as, you know, it's got the same internal structure, but the armor parts are all new, and it's got a very nice, like, sort of a deep purple, transparent sort of what do you call them, shell units, and it's sort of got this like sort of open top. You can see part of it is open air shell unit on the chest, which I feel is very nice. It's a little bit dark tint, so it's going to be hard to see the reflective stickers underneath. Again, these are not in molded metallics like we had on the original Lfrith and original Ariel, but it still looks good inside the purple translucent plastic nonetheless. Aside from that, the structure is generally quite the same. Some notable details. There's this yellow thing. Now that's color separated, which I felt was very nice. You know, you didn't have to do that, but it came out pretty good. These parts, the tolerances of these parts are not that consistent. I think I have one of them that sort of falls out every once in a while, but if luck would have it, I don't think anything is going to fall out today. So that's the main weapon. It only has one weapon, and that's this fist. Canonically, it's supposed to have ripped off this fist or taken this fist from a mobile suit that is meant for a much larger mobile suit. But basically, the structure of this fist is pretty straightforward. It's actually the lower arm of a larger mobile suit, and this sort of takes the place of a shoulder pauldron. Unfortunately, you don't get any bicep rotate, or you kind of, but you don't get how do I explain this? You don't get the elbow being separated from this, so that is your elbow. So it's not necessarily something that you could then, you know, translate into maybe a larger custom that you have. But one thing that is really notable is that it's got individual fingers, and not just individual fingers, but two jointed fingers. Well, they're not three jointed, but this is actually a pretty big deal because you can get quite a lot of very theatrical and dramatic poses with this. Obviously, you've got the weapon mode where you've got all the hands sticking out, and this is supposedly some kind of beam shooting weapon. And then the forearm, or the sort of pauldron, not pauldron, what do you call it? The bracer is meant to be a defensive weapon, like a shield. But aside from that, how this connects to the Lfrith is basically through a handle, basically a grip, and one of these things, which sort of attaches this way. Right? So that's a good thing, but I'm sure you can tell from the thumbnail of this video, the reason I wanted to make this little review is because I actually got two. And the reason I got two was because when I saw the preview of this, I immediately wanted to build sort of a Dantalian-esque type of mobile suit. The trouble is, it's while the hand itself is ambidextrous, you can see that the thumb goes over to the other side, and you can make either a left or right hand, and all the fingers are the same length. So it doesn't matter which side the thumb is, it still looks like a decent and very convincing hand. The trouble is that this is not ambidextrous, not symmetrical. So while on this side the grip comes down on the top of the fist, on the other side it has to come through the bottom. So unfortunately that's sort of a minus, although it's only a minus if you are crazy enough to want to get two of them. But if you are crazy enough to want to get two of them, you can achieve a pretty nice effect. Now, like I said earlier, there is also this sort of brace that braces it together with the forearm. On the other side, it does not have the sort of a slot in there for your brace to go into, so you can't brace it against this forearm. And even if that slot did exist, the way this is designed, because it's sort of canted to one side, again is not symmetrical. See, this one slopes down, this one slopes up. So you're not going to be able to really achieve pure full symmetry. However, you can get a pretty convincing effect. So let me show you. There you go. So, like I said, the posing on this and the amount of drama you can get out of these posable hands, especially on high grade, is phenomenal. I think worth the price of entry, definitely. If you do have access to P Bandai, I highly suggest. Well, if you haven't gotten one by now, I don't think you can get one. But if you do see these out in the wild, maybe in a thrift store, you only find P Bandai in like Mandarake in Japan right now, and you probably will never have a re-release. But for your entertainment pleasure, I present to you the symmetrical Lfrith Jew. And yeah, I really like the way this thing turned out. I'm going to paint it in custom colors. I'm not going to do the typical... I didn't read the manga, as usual. And it really wouldn't, bother me to put this in some of my own unique colors. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. What can you do in terms of poses? I did post on Twitter earlier that you can sort of get him into a, as they say, a kancho type pose with the fingers up the butthole. But aside from that, it does really achieve... Yes, it can do the middle finger. I will not do the middle finger. Grow up. But it does give you a lot of opportunities for very nice poses. Look, he's going to give you a hug. Right, so I would highly recommend this. If you ever get a chance to get one, get two. I do not regret getting two. Since I have a second body, I have this really cool head design, which I love a lot as well, which I'm going to use for a custom as well. Look at that. Amazing head design. And yeah, so that's the Lfrith Jew. Definitely a buy for me. No regrets. I really like it, and P Bandai has also announced a new Lfrith variant. I don't remember what it's called, but it's got two swords and sort of electrical effect parts. And I really like it that you get effect parts like that and unique molds in your P Bandai rather than just recolors, because even the most inexperienced builder can go out and get a rattle can and spray their own recolors. when P Bandai does that, I just feel that it comes off as lazy. If it's not transparent, which obviously you can't paint that way, and if it's not new molds like the Lfrith Jew, I really don't bother with P Bandai products, and I'm kind of proud that they're starting to do more unique molds. That being said, thank you. And if you have any suggestions or if you want me to try and pose this in a specific way, you can comment at the bottom in the thing. And also, if you really want to see more reviews and sort of a discussion on what we can do with kits that are already out, I tend to customize most of 90% of the kits that I get. So if you do have questions about that and you want to explore more, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the comments because I want to discuss, and people have started commenting more, so I'm pretty happy with that. That being said, that's all for today. Take care and bye bye.